Let's go.
Yeah. We all ride with cameras because we want to capture stuff.
It's so hard to capture that. If you're not inspired, then...
I think for me, most of my drawings originate from pictures.
I like it. Yeah.
So I have like a square where I keep all my pictures in, and I make the illustration afterwards to like merge all the pictures together. That way I remind me of the moments I had on the bike. Because the photos itself are like separate things, and like the illustration is the complete vibe, the feeling, maybe the color palette as well. So yeah, that adds value for me to make a drawing out of different things I saw.
That's pretty nice.
Very nice.
More green than I expected.
Yeah, the river, I guess. Doesn't look too welcoming for a swim.
Looks like there might be crocodiles in there.
Yeah.
See you later, alligator.
And a wild crocodile.
Yeah.
I ride with a camera because it's given some purpose to some of my adventurous rides. I grew up watching, absorbing a lot of posts and images and videos from people that I aspired to be like. They were traveling around the world and learning things about different cultures. For me, that's kind of something that I want to share with other people, and by carrying a camera, I'm able to capture it in a nice way, an authentic way. That kind of gives another purpose to why I ride.
Okay, let's just do our thing. It films us in a few spectacular movements. Apparently, I've never tried this before. While we do our thing.
Do you do that a lot of times?
Never. Always fly it in my one hand on the bike, one hand on the drone, or sometimes two hands on the drone, making movements. But here, with the rockiness, I think this may be a better way to do it.
Because we don't see trees.
Exactly. There's no trees it can hit. Very safe. I think one of the main reasons why I started capturing cycling stories was because I had a desk job. I wanted to ride my bike more, but I could only do it when I was off work. I wanted to ride even more, and I wanted to be able to take trips that lasted longer, that went further. And I figured the only way to realize that was by trying to turn this cycling hobby that I had into part of my job. Because that way I could use the creative energy that I had in a way that would also support my cycling instead of only happen outside of my cycling.
When we're riding, we actually capture a lot. Yeah, of course we are riding and enjoying the ride, but I think it's good to capture a big part of the ride so that we can be honest and show people the good side, but also like sometimes the hard side of it.
You're gonna try to hike without a bike?
Hike a bike without a bike.
Interesting.
I think it doesn't influence our rides that much because we got used to it, so it feels very natural to do what we do.
In we can float back to the campsite.
I think it would be difficult since it's upstream.
I just worked that out. Maybe we should have floated here then.
Yeah.
When riding with the camera, I make a whole load of photos, but a very small percentage of that I only show.
I don't know, sometimes it's just the feeling of the photo, sometimes it's necessary because I want to tell a story. But for myself, just having all those photos and you can look back, sometimes together with Jasmijn, sometimes alone, just looking back to all those photos is so valuable for me.
And then as soon as she lets go, this bird comes along, whoosh, swipes her, yeah, picks her up, takes her upwards above all of the buildings, and heads back to bed.
I think this is going to be a separate video.
Yeah?
Just this interview.
Okay. That was the best day of my life.
Yeah.
Spectacular.
Word.
For me, I think it's important to show a lot of diversity in the videos that we make, a lot of different cultures, different experiences, and we're kind of always up to experience anything, and capturing that might give other people the confidence to do things they might not have done, whether that's ride a bike or do a big adventure, even come somewhere like this on the border of Mexico. A top tip for sharing cycling stories, I think it just has to come down to whatever catches your eye. Then you'll find an audience that is also interested in that or appreciates what you're putting out.
Did anyone bring any cash?
No. Yeah.
Sometimes directly after the ride I'm so inspired and start working directly, or for example I saw a newspaper here and then if I buy it then I directly make cutouts in it and make photos of it to start like building something. And sometimes it needs a little bit of time and then yeah, it all of a sudden pops up in my head and then I can make a drawing or yeah, put everything together, and then yeah, the story will come.
Wow.
Each of us has a completely different experience when we're out there, and because we all have our own way of sharing it, and because we all share our side of the story, I think you get a really round picture of what actually happened. And also for me, I watch our stories back because my mind is very blurry. I forget everything. So can you see Mexico, Roel? What? Can you see Mexico?
Yeah, it's right there.
Making these stories is also for me a way to remember the trips we had and the memories I created with cycling that are not always present in my head. I can put them back in there by rewatching our stories. You guys want a Mexican stone?
I'm gonna come get one. Yeah, lekker.
What an experience, guys, what an experience. This is right beyond all about.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
It is
it's quite nice.
So, yeah.
Of course, making a video of it and making photos of it, yeah, you can show people a lot about it, but if I draw or make a collage or something, then I could put something of my feelings in it as well. Yeah, I think that adds a little bit of personality to it.
I don't really like to share anything when I'm at home, most of the time at least. But when I'm away, I'm like firing away with all the stuff I'm capturing because I'm like, okay, cool, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool.
Sending holiday cards to the world.
Yeah, like pow, 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 pow. Yeah. I really like that.